Hello, is anyone out there? This is Ellen Kay. I am the owner of Dee-Oh. I'm starting a little early so that I figure out how to do it before you all sit there for 5 minutes waiting for me. So sign in if you'd like, say hello so I know who you are. I see there's a couple people now. Hi everyone. Looks like there's 4 people watching right now. I thought I could watch it. Hi Linda, how are you? Thank you. This is the first time I've done this, so if I seem nervous, it's because I am. I worked for many years in IT. I was in management. I hated getting up in front of people. And so this is a little different because I can't see you. Hi, Christine from Florida. Hi, Cheryl. You were in the workshop with me, weren't you? It's a retreat. Did you finish your bag? I know I didn't. I've come close. Hi, Marion. There's a lot of people from Florida. You make a lot of purses down there and sell them down there. Is that a good venue for you all? Yep. I've got my sippy cup here for the dry mouth. Yeah, I think we skived before we sewed the leather seams, and so when I went to sew the bag lining in, I didn't skive it. I don't like the way it turned out, so I'm going to rip it out and try again. Otherwise, I think it's almost finished. It's my little yellow leather bag. Hi, Christina. How are you? Oh, really? That's great. You didn't post it in the Dee-Oh show. Oh, you just joined today, didn't you? You just found out about us. Make sure you post that so everybody else can see. Because sometimes I think we buy things and it doesn't, as some people say, sing to us right away. And then I'm a firm believer in leapfrogging. I think that other people's ideas kick yours off, and having other people, see your idea will get them going. Just pretend we're in our underwear. I'm in mine under here. Kidding. Okay. Hi, Susan. Well, thank you, Christina. I enjoy selling it. I really do. It's the first job I've ever liked. I work at it quite a bit. My husband was joking. I work more now than I did before, but I don't have to work in the middle of the night like I did before, so that works. We'll wait a few more minutes. We have 9 people. Basically, what I wanted to do today, this is also in line because most people may be watching the debates. So the idea is that people will see this and understand kind of how I market my work, my vinyls and faux leathers on the site, so that when you read the description, you have an idea of what I'm talking about, and it'll help you maybe pick your, make your decisions easier. I think that I've had a lot of people come to the site and not buy, and Sharon keeps pointing out to me that it's because they can't feel it, they can't see it, they can't taste it, And so I'm just here to kind of show something to, show it to you, and also to talk about the various things that I list in the descriptions. I've got different samples on the table with me. In some cases, I've written my notes on the back of them, which I thought was pretty funny. But, oh, my box. As you can see, I have a wall of vinyl behind me. I have a cabinet of all sorts of things that has faux leather over here and my shipping supplies. I have faux leather in a big tall cabinet over here. If I move the camera, you've seen my shop before to see what kind of cabinets I use. These are reclaimed stuva from IKEA, and they're nice and deep. So if you ever collect enough of my work that it doesn't fit in one of those roller things that hangs over your bag, these are great because they're 19 inches deep, and the rolls are all about 18 and a half. That's why I picked these. So the idea here is to kind of go over what my descriptions say and what I intend Obviously, when I say light, medium, heavyweight, that's based on the ounces of the fabric, and I'm weighing 18.5 inches. The Also, then I go on to describe what the backing looks like, and I will show you some of those. And I also talk about the gather and the hand. And that's important because what I'm finding with some of these heavier ones is, you know, you'd think that they, you know, at, oh, 16 ounces, that's going to be really stiff, but some of them are very, very soft. The only thing I haven't really had the time for yet, and I need to do this, and actually some of you can help me because you've used these fabrics more than I have. I haven't been in my sewing room much lately. Is to share with us. I mean, a great example of this is the jacuzzi. Okay, and this is a good example to start with. This is a 12.8. I call that a midweight, and obviously lightweight, midweight, and heavyweight in fabric is different than in vinyl and faux leather. So this is a faux leather, and it is it's a 12.8 ounce for the 18.5 inches. It's got a recast leather. Now, I saw a post about this recently, just today, I think, talking about this icky back. And this is Mitchell Fabrics, and they're doing a lot of, they call it recast leather. It's actually 14% cotton, recycled 28% leather, and then 57% polyester. It has kind of a corky texture to it. And I can imagine with upholstery, that would be good for not having it slip on you. But Dina Ballerina has been sewing this, and she turned around and bought a lot of it. She says it's like sewing on butter. It's, as you can see, it just folds up. It's smooth, it's drapey. It looks like it'd be easy to work with. You're working with a, turning a seam and stitching close to the edge. This would be a really good fabric. And I've tried to describe that in there by saying it's a soft medium gather, or, this also, I mean, it has a pretty medium body too. It stands up. It's, everybody wants to know the answer to say, what should I line this with? Should I use this? Should I use that? A lot of times I'll just take a piece and I'll put the SF101 on it and see what it feels like. Do I want it that stiff? Do I want it to be more drapey? Is it going to be a bucket? You kind of have to call your own shots. The nice thing about an 18-inch piece by width of fabric is you've got a lot to work with there. So don't be afraid to cut a piece off and experiment with it. So, and the other thing is, feel free to ask questions as we go along, okay? Because I'll just keep talking. So, that's the kind of thing I guess I want to kind of share with you is some of the backings and the way the fabric responds, so that you can tell by my description what I'm talking about, and you have a pretty good idea what you're going to get when you order it, okay? And this is the Oriole Orange. This was a, what was that? V5, and I can't remember if it's B09, V5. Anyway, I've got some more back in. And this is B-line, and I think it's Momentum. And this one has a tan backing, and this is the same this is the same vinyl on the front with a gray backing. And they often do that to kind of like make the backing similar to the front color-wise, in the same family of color. One of the things that I've also discovered is actually, you have the manufacturers that are usually in China, Taiwan, out of country, and they make the vinyl, and then they send it into the converters. And the converters are, you've got the mills, okay? Then you have the converters who take it and make something else out of it, based on the specifications of the different people that are buying the vinyl to sell for upholstery. And a great example of that kind of great example of that is these two products, which are very, 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 very similar in look. And I believe that these are probably the same vinyl, but the companies that ordered them to different specifications. This one has a very, very soft drapey knit backing. No problem, Teresa. It has a very, very soft knit backing. You can see how, that would almost make a great raincoat. But it's got a lot of gather. This This is the jacuzzi. It's BOX 9215, and I'm running out of it if you want it. I'm going to probably get some in a chili red in the next few days. So this is a case where you have the same vinyl, but it has a different substrate that it's attached to. This is a very fine knit black, and this is more of a felty. I can't even tell what it is. Yeah, it's almost a felty. You've got, very often you have a woven backing that's flanneled or brushed, and this is just kind of a brushed backing. I'm not sure, but look at it, crunches, but it's a lot stiffer than this. And so the manufacturers make the vinyl, and then the different companies have the converters make it to their specifications with their different backings. This is also another good example. This is it looks like ballistic. This is a very soft kind of a woven one, and it's got a very fine gray knit backing. And here's its heavier duty cousin that has the gray flannel backing, and it's a heavier weight. I mean, this drapes. I mean, this one drops off, but it's stiffer. It depends on what you're making, quite frankly. I have used this for a couple of Glendas. This kind of weight. It's great for the, it actually worked very nicely on the body, and it also worked very nicely on the flap. I did sew at one point. So, you know, that's one thing to know about vinyl. Even though they look the same, look at the specifications and see, because this one weighs, I can't remember, it's lighter than this one, although they both seem heavier than you'd think, and that's one of the issues with vinyl. And but it's going to do different things when you work with it. This would take a pleat beautifully. This one's going to give you a much firmer pleat. So that's one thing to watch, and I try to indicate. I mean, I would say on this one, I'd be telling you this was a soft, supple gather. And on this one, I'd say, you know, it still comes together. It's a soft medium, but it's not stiff. Hi, Patricia. Welcome. Yes, Amber, I saw your order. I haven't packed it. It's going out tomorrow. Let's see, what else do I have here? This is another one. I really love the front of this. It's like a silver shantung, but it's got a white knit backing. And that to me is kind of more of a vinyl, and that's the other thing. In my store, I've kind of broken down the things with an animal grain or a animal skin or a lizard or something as a faux leather. As people have pointed out, I probably have faux leather over here. I'm not quite sure exactly. When you look across the industry, every manufacturer is going to call it something different. I'd like to say that faux leather is only polyurethane and the rest is vinyl, but polyurethane is a vinyl. So that's kind of tough. So I've broken it up into the textures and sometimes the feel of it. If it's a stiffer, like this one, this is a sunshine. It's got an animal grain, but it's closer to a marine vinyl. I don't have much of this. I try to stay away from this because you can get this anywhere. Maybe not that color, but you can get a lot of marine vinyl in different places. This one is pretty good, but it's again, it's a medium body. You can you probably can hear it, but it's really pretty. It's got a beautiful kind of sheen and the slub of a shantung silk. This is a 15.7. I'd call this a heavyweight. So you'd kind of think that heavyweight means it's stiff, but look at this. Pretty. You're funny, Sharon. No, that's not your shelf. Wouldn't that be great? How would you like that in the mail? Any rate, let's see, what else? This is probably the stiffest thing I have in the store, but it's also kind of the coolest. I've been working towards bringing in fall colors because you're doing your fall markets. People are looking for things to go with their new fall shoes and outfits. I've also been looking ahead towards your Christmas markets, and I've been bringing in the different shiny fabrics. This is a hide fabric. I have this in pearl and an old gold, but it's heavier. This is heavier. This has got the definite felting in the back. And I wrote what the weight is. This is 24 ounces. That's 1.5 pounds. So, and I don't really see it. I think I labeled this one as stiff. I don't really see, you know, it turns. You can definitely turn it under, but I'm just not sure, the people that are sewing with non-industrial machines, that you'd be able to do much with that. And so that I've labeled that as stiff, and I think I've called out in the store that this is a little tougher to work with. Sometimes I'll say this is very lightweight. You're going to want to interface this if you expect to have some body. So don't just look at the pictures, open it up, and I think you have to scroll down a little bit, and I've done my best to describe it, give you the weight of it, and don't just look at the weight and how I describe the hand and the texture of it, because I'm really surprised sometimes how much things weigh, but they're still soft and easy to work with. Go figure. If you stop and think about it, it's a piece of vinyl and it's married to a substrate, and both of them have their own particular weights. You know, people like to ask, what needle should I use? That's another thing that you kind of have to experiment with. I think the good thing about this group is there's a lot of fabrics that I carry that are similar. They're different colors. And so I would ask others, you know, I have this. What did you use? I think, you know, sharing that with each other would be great. You can't see everyone's comments, Teresa's. Well, that's because you showed up late. Do you have your drink of wine? I've got my golden margarita. Costco product. Okay, what else do I have in my box? This is one that has it's like a shark skin finish. It's a metallic kind of finish on it. It's got a woven brushed back. It's a nice quality. It is, I mean, there's all sorts of different, I haven't gotten into the grades on upholstery yet. I still have a lot of reading to do. But it's I think Nassimi, which is a very good high-end upholsterer, and there's another company. Mitchell also makes this. Again, here's the vinyl that's produced by the mill, and then the different companies pick it up and back it, and then they sell it. It's got a good quality feel to it, and that's what I'm shooting for to have in the store. Sharon has the most experience with every one of my vinyls. I don't know. Vita's been working heavily on them. And I love all the things you guys have been posting in the Sew Show, because it encourages other people to get their vinyls out and use them. I know that, you know, again, the faux leather vinyl thing, I've probably got things in here that maybe the manufacturer considers a faux leather, but again, it didn't really have a grain, or it definitely had a vinyl-y feel, so that's why I separated them. Thank you, Donna. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, this is interesting. This is a new one. I've been, as I've found things, the people that I buy from notice what I'm buying, and then they turn around and they raise the price on me. And that, well, maybe that's just persecution complex, but there's also, I know that the Chinese, the trade wars we've been having, the tariffs, has affected some of the prices. So as I add new, like I have a product in the store and you guys buy it out, and then I get some more in, it sometimes goes up, you know, 50 cents to $1. So I have to raise my prices accordingly, but I think I'm still keeping them in line with what you want to spend. So what I've been doing is I'm trying all the other different things, and I'm coming up with other products that are nice and drapey. Like ultra leather's great, but I'll tell you right now, when I look around for that, it's going, you know, it's like, yeah, this is on sale at $64 a yard, and it's like, ooh, I can't stomach bringing that in. The the Momentum Silica is a very good product. I have a lot of that in my store. I've been bringing in the Arccom Omega, which has a slightly different grain on it, but it also has a nice kind of fairly good drape to it. So unfortunately, this isn't going to be the place where you can come and get the same thing repeatedly. But I am trying to keep it in the range of being able to use it for purses. Ideally, and again, based on your machine. I know a lot of people send me things, well, how heavy should I use, you know, how heavy can I go before my domestic machine can't handle it. And I'm, again, well, you've seen it. What machine should I buy? And everybody tells you what they're using. It depends on what you're sewing. I was telling somebody that I took the Bonnie pattern, and it has a seam in the middle and seams on the side, and then it has the strap holders, right, sewn into the side seam. That's a lot in those seams, and my machines won't handle it because it gets kind of wodgy there. So what I did was I took the pattern and I actually made one piece that seamed in the middle of it, so that I didn't have a seam over here. I was able to get my strap holders in there. I also have taken to, you know, a lot of people have taken to riveting them on, which is great. I don't think there's any one way to do it. I'd either try it, you know, try it on a scrap. This is I think called Canter, and this is a lovely kind of, it's a limey, yellowy, limey citron. And it's got the tan woven backing. And it's a decent piece of material. It's got a nice, you can see the gather nicely. There's just all sorts of things here in the wall. Well, you know, Donna, that brings up a good point, because I had been trying to do a lot of big pushes, and what I found was I was stressing myself out because I was trying to push 40 pieces at a time, which means I've cut up these things, I have counted, measured, taking pictures, pushing them up in a spreadsheet, corrected things, and it was just, I was stressing. And so what I do is now I just dribble them out, maybe 5 to 10 every day or two. And so, yeah, you do have to check it out. The other thing that I did go in is, I think I went in and for each collection, I changed it so the filter at the top was, I think you're always going to see things sorted new to old. I don't know, Cheryl. It's relatively new. Oh, I know. It's called Limey Coconut. Don't ask me. Can anybody tell how old I am by how I name these things? Does anybody remember Ollie Orange? Goofy Grape? Okay, you don't have to admit you're my age. This is a new one. It was a little more expensive for me. It's a quilted key. Donna, you can search for new to old. You can, but you can, I think it all automatically comes up that way. That's the default on each collection now, Sharon. This one is interesting because it's not sewn all the way through. It is sewn onto the, it's stitched on the vinyl. It's actual stitching, I think, or it's a very good impression. And then the vinyl, the gray knit backings on the back. Again, it is, I've described it probably as a medium, and it really kind of feels leathery. It's surprising sometimes. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just pulling things out of a box now. Jody, do you have a question, or you're just saying I do? Nope, everybody's going thumbs up. Okay. I put stuff in. Okay. Now this is another one that I have, and it's sometimes hard to find the colors that you all look for. This is a really, really pale yellow. It's where did I put this one? This one is 204. This is a knit backing. It is a stiffer one. It's a heavier one. It's 15.5, but it's still, I guess when I see these, I think of purses that think of sometimes the higher end purses that have more body to them and less of the soft plush. You know, it all depends on what you want to make, what your customers like. So I skipped that raspberry one. You people. Enterprise warp drive, yes. You remember Ollie Orange, yes. Let's see, this purple, the purple one. This is, okay, this is one of those fabrics, okay. This is the vinyl. It's made by the mill. It is, Mitchell gets it, and who else? Nassini puts it out in like natural colors. This is called Bay Street. It is Mitchell Bay Street. It's relatively new. If you go new to old, it should be one of the purples that pop up. It is also that raspberry color that's big for 2020. or fall 2019. That's what I want to say. And it's again a really nice one. I have this in 2 yellows. I've had it in crimson. I've had it in a light peach. I have it back in sunset. I have it in olive, and I have it in brown. It's got a neat kind of, I don't know. I don't know what kind of animal looks that way. It's kind of lizardy, huh? At any rate, it's got a very lovely, soft background, quality background. It doesn't stink like the vinyl at Joann's, the black one that they have way too much of, and it makes you gag. Let's see what else that I got down here. Aha! This is ultra leather. It's very lightweight. Sharon knows much more about it than I do. I've not sewn with it. My guess is, depending on how you want, you know, the pattern on your bag. Who was it that just posted a beautiful red one in Bodie? Here it is, Cindy Rogers. It's a beautiful, and I don't remember the name of the pattern, but when I saw it, I went, oh, I want that. I went and bought it. Looks like she did it in Cherry Pie, which was a heavier faux leather, and it's just, it looks really nice. This one would obviously sew into that, but I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it would not be as substantial as a heavier vinyl. This is the oregano faux leather, and this is the mecca of everything. It's got even, gosh, even the back feels beautiful. I love the backing on these things. Sometimes this one's a little flanneled. Sometimes it's just a very soft white woven. This is, like I said, this is what everybody wants to have, and it's not cheap. It's hard to find. And one of the things I'm curious about is if I do find it like $27 a yard, and so you break that down and put a little bit of markup on it, is that what you want to pay for your fabrics? I mean, if you guys want to pay more for ultra leather, I will do my best to bring in what I can. I don't want a dinosaur hanging around here. Unfortunately, I feel like with actually the marine industry I'm seeing is getting into this now, and so it's become very popular, and it's the latest thing, and it's going to be a high price for a while. And you know, you can find it, but it's going to be the colors that you really, you know, how many beige purses do you want to make? I don't know. Maybe that's what really sells in your area. So let me know about the ultra leather. Let's see what else. Now this I put in here because this is the Silica Momentum. It doesn't have the, it has more of a finish like the Promessa, which is the ultra leather, but it's a lovely drapey fabric. This is the one that oh, I can't remember people's names right now. The beautiful purse that she did, that she showed, it had the damask with the cream momentum silica. This is a very nice fabric, and since I started buying it, the price on this has gone up too. I'll keep trying to have it there at reasonable prices, but it sews up beautifully. It's a little, you can see it's just got a I don't know. I don't know how to show you this, that it's a little bit more, this is just, well, they both ball up in my hands. Maybe yeah, this one kind of, you can see that it drapes differently. This is a beautiful fabric. It really is. I have it in quite a few. There's silica and silica leather, which has a decided grain look to it. But, you know, ultra leather may be hard to get. You might think about switching things in. Which one is what, Susan? Yes, Christine, yes, the damask. I had Carol Dupree, I think it's her last name, came by yesterday, and she bought one of those pieces because she loved her purse. I showed it to her. The red one. This is B09X198, and I think it may be called Matter. It is the Momentum Silica. I'm getting piled up behind the vinyl, aren't I? This is one of my favorites. This is one that Momentum carries it. Momentum, Maharam, Knoll, all sorts of them carry it with the Meyer Fabrics, the other one, carry it with a different name. It's got the same kind of animal grain. It has a real pretty good leather look to it. Generally, the half yards weigh anywhere between 14 to just under 17 ounces. It's a medium. You can see. Caressa's Goddess of the Sea that was in soft aqua was made from this. So, you know, I actually, and that's the Cindy Rogers cherry pie bag was, I think, the cherry pie was a little bit heavier than the lariat. So, lariat, Caressa, they're all the same thing. But I have a lot of this. It has, and probably you'll find it, recognize it in the store as having a tan brushed backing. I list that so that you know. And this one, I think this will do really. I've got a lot of different blacks. I've got the X26 is a navy. I've got it coming out. I just got, gosh, 170 pounds of fabric yesterday, and mostly vinyls. And there's a couple brick reds and oxbloods and things in there that are nice fall colors in this lovely fabric. Okay, this is the silica. This is a new one that I just put out. It is very soft. It's got the gray brushed backing, and this one has the leather grain, as I said. The red one is more of a solid kind of, and this one has kind of there, you can see the difference. Has a little bit of graining in it. And this is another one that has that nice, it's supple, but it's heavier than the ultra leather. And so if you wanted something that was, I don't know, Sharon, I think you line this quite a bit, don't you? Or you line, let's see, you told me you interface the lining, if that's correct. At any rate, that's the silica leather. This is in the vinyl section. It's got a medium gather. It's got a frost to it. So these are the kind of things I'm trying to bring in for, okay, it's bothering me. There was something on the screen. This has just a wee bit of frost. It's got a pretty good scrunch. I can't really think of, the vinyl that I showed you, the yellow is one of the stiffer ones, and I think people have been sewing with that now for months. And this gold one that I showed at the beginning are some of the heaviest. So most of these will work for you. Again, it's like anything else. You can't, you can't sew you can't expect to get that through your sewing machine without skipping some stitches, probably, unless you've got an industrial or you're really good with knowing what your needle kneading is. I don't know how many times I've changed needles and had no luck, but the rest of you are much better than I am. Feels like that. As I said, this was one of my heavier ones. This is the yellow. And it sounds vinyl-y, doesn't it? This is a 14.4, so it's actually, which is weird. Now this is lighter than some of the other ones that feel softer. So you kind of have to look at the whole picture, read the whole description, and if you have any questions, email me. I think there's a lot of you contact me over using the store. You can contact me through the store, and I get those in my Google Mail, and I go through those in the morning first thing. So there's a lot of you on the East Coast that beat me awake, so of course that's not hard. Let's see, what else do I have here? This is Omega. This is the new one that I've been going into because the other ones started getting expensive again. It looks very similar to the silica leather. I can't, it could be the same, again, vinyl, and it's represented by two different the manufacturers have it put together in different ways, but the backing is very similar. And it feels good. It's not a soft drape, but it's a soft medium is what I would call that. This is a new one that I put in. It's Purple Rain. That's what I called it. It almost has a tiger stripe, which is done by matte and a really, really fine texture kind of line. I'm using my words now. At any rate, this is, I've never heard of this company. It's Ciprotex. It was new to me. They're from Mexico. They have a lot of cool things, but I haven't seen them in the American market. So this is the first one I've seen. It's got a felted woven backing on it. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll see more of this. Oh, what else did I have? That's it. My box is empty. I think I showed you everything in my box. I'm starting to get more of these shiny, kind of matte shine vinyls in different colors. I've got a couple, there's one called, what is that? There's a greenish one coming in. I'm starting to think about wintertime, Christmas, holiday events, little clutches, little, I like the Glenda, and I put a little shoulder chain on it, and I think that's a nice kind of a Christmas, or not it's a nice holiday party. It goes, you can dress that up or dress it down for whatever you're going to do for your holidays, and I think that'd be, hold on. This is another good point. This is the Glenda I made with one of my fabrics and one of my vinyls, and I used just a simple cotton liner in it. I put a kind of an antique brass chain on it, and since I had pulled, I pulled a half a yard out, I then decided to see, well, what does it look like this way, right? And I had to use a different cotton fabric inside. Again, the antique brass chain. And then that's one of my favorite things to do, is just screw around and figure out, what does it look like smaller? And so this one has a brown lining. But I think that the half yard size is pretty good. It gives you quite a bit of fabric to make several purses out of. And I think I still have some left over from these, actually. To me, this is just, and I put a little shorter handle on it. This is the kind of thing I guess I see at holiday time, being fabulous out of most of these fabrics, most of these vinyls. The light catches them and plays on them. So I think I'm talked out. Does anybody have any questions? I appreciate you all showing up for my first live effort. And if you feel that there was room for improvement, you can just email me afterwards. I'd be happy. I very often ask for improvement because I want to make this good for you too. No questions? Wow. Have you all got sippy cups full of something? Or is it bedtime there? I guess I'm done. If you guys have no questions. Oh! Thank you. If there's something that I did not hit, I really want to know. I will probably do this again. I'm not quite sure what the format is. I don't think you want to know that vinyl was discovered in 1938 in Germany, and that the original formats had a lot of bad things in that gave off dioxins, and that the polyurethanes don't have that. But I mean, I can get into the chemical bit of it later if you like. You want a sippy cup? Yeah, this is great. It's my Starbucks 20-ouncer. These go camping with me, and sometimes they go hiking, and I fall on rocks, and you can tell by the bottom. Well, thank you, Linda. Like I said, if you can think of anything else that you want to know, bedtime in New York, I can imagine. Just let me know, okay? I am here. I am easily accessible. This is what I do now, and I really enjoy it, and I love meeting you all. Thank you very much. Now I have to figure out how to turn this thing off. Does anybody know? Oh, finish. Bye-bye. Thank you all.